What a Monday Night Raw we just watched. It was honestly perfect from head to toe, and we have a few new eras starting tonight. Triple H, he said that the show is going to be epic, and in my opinion, he actually delivered for once. But we are going to break down Raw, pretty much everything that happened, and we got to start with how the show opened, and it opened with Rhea Ripley and Io Sky coming out to celebrate their War Games victory, which they did, but that's not all they did. They also made their claim for the women's tag titles. Now, I love this idea. I thought that it was going to happen a lot earlier, but they get interrupted by Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, their War Games teammates, and we knew that this was going to happen. We knew that Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair, they were going to end up butting heads, but instead, it's honestly Alexa saying, well, we never really got our rematch. We need our rematch still. So Io says that there's going to be a main event tag match tonight. We go backstage, and Adam Pearce is making it official. He's probably calling Nick Aldis. He's like, hey, I know that these aren't my superstars, but, whatever. So that will be the main event. But speaking of main event, we got main event Jey Uso versus LA Knight in the Last Time Is Now tournament. This is a semifinal. The winner of this will go into the final. And this was actually one of my favorite Jey Uso singles matches. But man, these spear and splashes that he kept hitting, they scared me. LA Knight couldn't hit that BFT. I go, man, I really hope that they're building up to LA Knight hitting this BFT and not just leading to Jey winning. But Jey hits a spear, goes to the top, hits a splash. 1, 2. LA Knight kicks out and rolls up Jey Uso for the 1, 2, 3. LA Knight advances, and thank God LA Knight won. Oh, man. Now, no offense to Jey Uso. I'm tired of him winning. I wanted LA Knight to win, as you can see. I'm a huge LA Knight fan. I'm so glad he won. But honestly, one of the more interesting things that happened was Jey crashing out after the match. And it was kind of drawn out. Like, he was just sitting in the corner going like this. And then he went outside, started like banging his head on the announce table a little bit. But, the crash out, I like what it did. It actually makes me invested in Jey's character work, because he can be a very good character worker, like we saw in the pandemic era, where he was like the right-hand man type things. Like, he was like that Jey Uso is what I want. Not like that he's at Roman's side, but I want him to be his like own person and, stand up, and I really want that right-hand man-esque character for Jey Uso. I'm tired of the yeet stuff. And backstage, I don't have this in here, but backstage, Jey Uso is leaving, and he's talking to Jackie Redmond, and Jackie Redmond's asking him all these questions, and Jay's like, I don't care about the vision, I don't care about whatever, I don't care about this, he's like, Roman was right, he said that those belts looked better on him than they ever would on me. So it's like Jey is like self-aware that, he's not there yet, even though he's been there. So I'm just really actually invested in this Jey character. I don't think this has to lead to a heel turn. That's one of my key takeaways from this. I don't think Jey has to turn heel to use this new character. I think he can just be that edgier version of himself, maybe lose the yeet, but maybe before he wins, he can still drop it in every once in a while. I just think you can move away from that a little bit, so you can still sell the merch, but you don't have to turn Jey Uso heel. Those are my takes on it, which is what I think most people would think, but I guess we'll see. We go backstage now to Bayley and Lyra. They're telling Adam Pearce that they should be in the tag team main event, but Asuka interrupts them and says that Bayley is the reason they lost at Team Asuka lost at War Games, because she didn't join them. Which I didn't get, because, you had a pretty stacked team. I would take pretty much everybody on your team over Bayley, no offense, but it was kind of weird. I knew that they were doing the whole thing, so then, knowing that the main event is Rhea and Charlotte's, tag team, Charlexa and Rio, they're going at it, so I'm like, well, maybe this is going to lead to, a match next week or something, and they're going to do, something weird with all the tag teams fighting each other, which, spoiler alert, they did do. But we have to go to Dirty Dominic Mysterio, 2-belt Dom, double champ Dom, and he starts out by thanking all the members of the Judgment Day, and he says, and a special thank you to Liv Morgan. And Liv Morgan basically lets everyone know that she's back, and she's coming for everything she lost and even more. And that Judgment Day, once again, runs Monday Night Raw. And this couldn't be more true. There were so many little things in this that we'll get to more, but there are so many little things on this Raw and major things that lead to the Judgment Day. So the Judgment Day really feels stronger than ever, which is so crazy to say. But with all the stuff that happened tonight on this Monday Night Raw, I'm actually very hyped for the Judgment Day to do more things, and I just think that the Judgment Day doing more is going to make Raw better. So I'm honestly just saying to give them the gold again. I mean, that would be great. You can, I'm not going to talk about, I'll talk about it more when we get to those segments, but I really think that the Judgment Day really should just get the gold. Speaking of gold, we have Team Dragon Lee and AJ Styles, the World Tag Team Champions, versus the New Day, the team that never got their rematch, and then they finally get it. And it was so much fun. I have not enjoyed a New Day match, which this is no discrediting the New Day at all. I haven't liked a New Day match in this much in a long time. And I just think it was... I love AJ Styles and Dragon Lee as a tag team. I love the New Day as a tag team. And these four just put together, man, it was great. I mean, it was probably one of the most creative finishes. Dragon Lee does the double stomp on Cody. He flings off the ropes right into the Styles Clash. Dragon Lee bounces off the ropes, jumps on Waller and Woods. Styles hits the Styles Clash, and still, man, I love Dragon Styles, as I'm calling him, because I think that Dragon Style, I think that makes the most sense. The Phenomenal Dragons is also there, but I don't really know. I don't know what their tag team name is yet, even if they have one, but just putting two wrestlers together, I know it's not the best thing for the tag team division, but man, for this it's working. They're going to have a tag team match with the War Raiders next week, which I'm a little bit nervous that if AJ and Dragon win, there's nobody else in the division for them to face, so maybe we'll get some returning tag teams soon or something. Maybe the Creeds will come back eventually, and we'll get some of that. The Creeds versus Dragon Styles would be very fire. I would love to see that. But let's go backstage to something else I would love to see, and it's Stephanie Vaquer and Jackie Redmond, and Jackie's just like, hey, congrats on the victory, and Stephanie Vaquer's like, yeah, that's what happens when you mess with Stephanie Vaquer, but someone else you don't want to mess with is Liv Morgan. And Liv Morgan congratulates Vaquer, but she's looking at that title. She kind of chuckles at the title. She's given these huge hints towards a future match. And my question is Liv Morgan finally going to win the Rumble? And my answer is yes. I think Liv Morgan's going to win the Rumble. I think you can give Liv Morgan this this Women's World Championship at WrestleMania, and I don't think anybody's going to complain. I think it's time that Liv Morgan stops placing second in all these big matches, and you finally give her the number one spot. Speaking, man, this was quite a promo for the Vision. Heyman, of course, shouts out the Beast, Brock. He says it was a pleasure doing business with Drew. And then, of course, he has to hype up Bronson Reed, who gave a tsunami to everybody. And he has to talk about the most viral wrestler ever, or whatever he says about Logan Paul. And then he makes an announcement that the man in the middle on January 5th on Raw, Braun Breaker, will face CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship. And he says that Braun Breaker will beat CM Punk, and the uncrowned World Heavyweight Champion will have that title. And then he hands the mic to Braun Breaker, and oh man, Oh, it's up there for promo of the year. I'm just going to be honest. I loved this promo. It wasn't the cleanest promo, but it got the point across, and I loved it. He says that there's a lot that I wrote down for this because I was so enamored by this promo, and it was so good. But Braun Breaker, he says that the masked guy almost ruined his moment. He calls the masked guy Batman, which I thought was pretty funny. But he's not disappointed about the guy almost ruining his moment. He's disappointed about how easy it was to beat CM Punk. And CM Punk is nothing more than a soft ass bitch. Ooh. He also says Punk is no different than that narcissist Seth Rollins, and he should really be focusing on who the man of the house is, which I like. That's fun. He says Punk tried to ruin everything he worked for when he dropped them on his neck with that Doomsday device. He says that he's coming for his career, his title, and every good memory that the fans have of him. At this point, this was already an amazing promo, but then Braun Breaker makes it even more personal, and he brings up when Punk at WrestleMania said to him, hey, congrats on all the success, but can you cut a promo with the big boys? And Braun Breaker, he says, consider the promo cut. Oh, man. And then he says, because on January 5th, when he wins and Punk's looking at the lights, he will realize he's nowhere near the badass Braun Breaker and that I'm the best in the world. Braun Breaker has arrived even more than before. Man, give him the belt. Give him the strap. I don't care. He needs this World Heavyweight title. It's so clear. Oh, man. It's something you just need to do. And Logan Paul summed this promo up best when he went, damn, perfect. Braun has to win on January 5th, but he's not going to. He's not going to win on January 5th because that Raw is going to be the return of Seth Rollins, and you're going to get the Masked Man reveal. You're going to get both of those things on that Monday Night Raw, and Braun is not going to win because of Seth Rollins, but Braun Breaker, he's going to end up winning the Elimination Chamber, and he's still going to get that match with CM Punk at WrestleMania, and that's where he's crowned. But man, I want Braun Breaker to have the belt tomorrow. Now we can move on to a match. Gunther versus Solo was actually really good. I enjoyed this match. It was kind of slow to start, but the great sequence to end the match. These two men were just hitting each other. There was a really close fall when Solo hit a spinning solo and a splash, but Gunther still kicked out. But the match really turns around when Solo rips off the turnbuckle when he was in the sleeper hold, and Tala Tonga gets on the apron. And as the ref is putting the turnbuckle back on, he boots Gunther because Gunther chased him outside. But then Tala Tonga is holding Gunther, and Solo's going to go for the spike, but the ref catches him, and Gunther swings his leg back and mule kicks Tala Tonga. He throws Solo back in the ring. He sees that the ref is still distracted with Tala Tonga. Low blows Solo, picks him up, powerbomb. 1, 2, 3. Oh, man. Gunther is so damn good. He's the best wrestler in WWE. But, man, he might be the best in the world. No CM Punk. But Gunther versus LA Knight, I am so hyped for it, and I'm so happy that I don't have to worry about who wins, because I will be so hyped for Cena's match either way it goes. LA Knight versus Cena would be great, and Gunther versus Cena I still think will happen, but man, you can't go wrong with either one of these guys, and I'm so excited for that match, which is on Friday. Can't wait for that. We go backstage to Rey Mysterio, and Rey's basically saying that he wants the IC title. Dom's running around, and he needs to teach his son another lesson, and Logan Paul calls him crazy. And Rey's like, oh, look, it's the only guy that may be a bigger ass than my own son. Logan calls him a deadbeat dad, whatever. He says that he's Logan Paul says, I'm 6'3", you're 3'6". You need to step aside. and he says that the IC title belongs to the Vision. And Rey Mysterio goes, all right, pendejo, what are you going to do about that? And Logan Paul says, I'm going to retire you. And Rey slaps him. They get into a little scuffle, yelling back and forth. But my takeaways from this, I mean, is this going to be a triple threat? You know, between Dom, Logan, and Rey? Is it going to be Dom and Logan at Mania, which would be two of the biggest heels, and I really think you could do that. Rey versus Dom maybe before then? I don't really know what this means. I mean, I'll take another Rey Mysterio and Logan Paul match, even. Maybe you do, like, Rey Mysterio, AJ Styles, and Dragon Lee versus The Vision at one point. You know, you could experiment with things. And that could lead to the Masked Man and Bronson Reed or Bronson Reed and Logan Paul winning tag titles. There's a lot of stuff you can do with this, but once again, this just shows that Judgment Day, you know, when they have gold, there's more stuff that you can do. And Dominic has history with both of these men, obviously, so I think that there's a lot you can do there, and I can't really predict it, but I'm excited to see where it goes. But we have to go to now the main event that was made official earlier, and great match. Great match. There were two. It was a great match all throughout. I'm going to talk about the near falls and kind of wrap up this review a little bit. But Charlotte Flair hits a natural selection, and then Alexa Bliss hits a Sister Abigail DDT onto Io, but Rhea saves it. And then right after, Rhea hits a Riptide, tags in Io, moonsault. Charlotte Flair saves it. And then right when the match is at its highest point, and it can't go down from here, it goes down. The Kabuki Warriors run in, they cause a DQ, and then, of course, because earlier in the night, they were in a conversation, Bayley and Lyra run down, they're beating down Kabuki Warriors, you know, they're fighting outside the ring, but then Liv Morgan pulls Lyra off the thing, off the announce table, throws Kyrie into the steel steps, the rest of Judgment Day beats down whoever else is in the ring, they end on top. And there's a really cool symbolism thing when Roxanne hands the belt back to Liv, like, hey, you never lost this. But Liv just hands it right back to Roxanne, stands in the middle of them, and the Judgment Day stand tall to end Monday Night Raw. Now, of course, my takeaways are 5-team TLC. I don't care when you do it. That would be amazing. But I also think that this should lead to the Judgment Day regaining those belts, because I think Judgment Day having all the gold would be very cool. But I still think we're a little bit away from that. But there are so many fun teams. I know a lot of them are just thrown together. But hey, I don't care. Because this 10-woman match, whenever it happens, will be great. And I'm so down for it. But that is Monday Night Raw. We had so much happen on the show. It truly was epic from start to finish. And that is my Monday Night Raw review. Make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe, check out all my other reviews, check out the one that's going to come out on Friday, and for right now, that's it.